Today's lesson we are talking about parts of a whole and some simple probability. Let's see. Noemi, would you like to be in charge of the remote today?
How do you...
So this zooms it in closer and that pulls it out. Okay, go ahead and get your notebooks out. Make sure you've got your heading on your notes. That means I would love to see the whiteboards and erasers and markers put away. Thank you so much for having your notes out and having the title on your notes ready to go. So, parts of a whole is a type of plot that we would learn. We have a part plus another part, and it equals the whole. When we're talking about percents, so for percents, the whole
Yay, I found it.
is 100%.
Part plus...
So if I had 30% and I was adding another part to that, my whole amount would be 100%. Who can tell me what I would have to add to 30% to get a whole percent? Cole, you've got this one. 30 plus what is 100?
5.
Ooh, that would give us 35. Noemi?
10.
30 plus 10 takes us to 40. So if I've got 30, I'm going to get 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100%. So I added 70. So our B here would be 70%. For fractions, the whole is 1. So if I had 3/10 and I was adding another part to it, it would equal my whole of 1, which remember would be the same as 10 over 10. What do I have to add to 3/10 to get a whole? There we go. That works. Just let me know. Danny, what am I adding to 3/10 to get a whole?
Oh, I know.
So I need to get up to... Ooh, Danny's going to answer that one for me. 3/10 plus what equals 10/10 or 1 whole? I do. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. How many did I add to it? 7/10. All right. Give yourself a note here. Page 95 gives you more examples on probability. So for probability, the important thing to remember is your number of favorable outcomes will be in the numerator of your fraction over the total number of possible outcomes. So if I was looking for the probability of heads on a coin, I would say, how many heads are there on a coin? One. How many sides are there to a coin?
Two.
So there's my favorable over my total possible. Thanks so much to those of you who are keeping right up with me on notes. We're also going to learn about a complementary event. That's one of our vocabulary words here. And that is referring to two events
Vocab word.
whose sum add to one.
What?
So if I was looking at the probability of heads on a coin and the probability of tails on a coin, those would be complementary events.
We both have slides, come on.
Draw a line. We're going to talk about the continuum of probability.
Wait, these are the wrong
On the far left,
We can't see it.
I have a 0, and on the far right, I want you to put a number 1. Break it right into the middle and put a 1/2. Take just a second and get that done.
But I need that. Right there.
So if the probability of an event is 0, we would say it is impossible.
Impossible.
So if I said, what is the probability that I would get a 6 when I flipped a coin? Well, there's no 6 on my coins, so that's impossible. It would have a probability of 0. Okay? If I said, what is the probability that I would get either a head or a tail when I flipped a coin? It's 1, so it's actually certain. I will definitely get either a head
Either certain
or a tail. Now, when we looked up here at heads on a coin, we got 1/2. That is equally likely. So it is equally likely for me to get a head or a tail on a coin when I flip it. Okay? So in this space between 1/2 and 1, if it falls in there, we say it's likely. And if it falls between 0 and 1/2, we say it is unlikely. Go ahead and draw a little bag. In this bag, we're going to have 8 red, 6 green, and 6 blue.
Oh, that's fine.
So if I were to ask you what the probability is of getting a red, we can show that by putting red in parentheses by our probability, P for probability. The number of favorable outcomes would be how many red I have. So in this case, I have 8 red over the total. So I would have to take 6 plus 6 is 12, plus 8 is 20. I get 8/20. I need to reduce, so I can divide both of those by 4. So I'm going to divide by 4 over 4. 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. 20 divided by 4 gives me 5. What about, go ahead on your own and try to find the probability of green. When you've got the probability of green found, go ahead and raise your hand.
It's in the same thing.
There's 8 red and there's 6 green. So put how many green you have on top over the total number possible.
I know the answer.
Raise your hand and I'll come in.